LSU football fans. The media wants you to get hyped. The nerds want you to get fired up. The geeks want you to buy in. Both the local and the national media are very high on LSU football in 2025. And naturally, as is to be expected, the fans are doing just exactly that. They're buying in. Lapping it up like old boy Arthur here when he gets his afternoon Miller High Life. He's kind of ready for it early today, I think. A little thirsty. A few more minutes, buddy. A few more minutes. But the media hype machine is building for this team, and we've still got a ways to go before opening kickoff at Clemson on August 30th. Plenty more episodes to break down the defensive additions and the defensive philosophy for this season and the entire quarterback room, which was just ranked number 1 in the nation by Pro Football Focus. But today, the LSU portion of this episode is centered around fan expectations for this season. Are we expecting too much from this team as a fan base based on the building media hype? Are we setting ourselves up for disappointment as a fan base? Or are the 2025 LSU Tigers legit contenders? Well, obviously, we can't answer that question flatly today. But I can state with a tremendous degree of confidence that if the LSU Tigers, at the bare minimum, do not make that 12-team college football playoff field, then no, this team will not have met the expectations of this fan base. And let's just say that Brian Kelly will then be feeling the heat. But we'll have more on him, a deeper look into LSU's head coach, in a future episode. Most likely the next one. So why are the people who can scream the loudest into the cameras so high on LSU this year? Well, correction, some of those people are high on LSU. Some of the others are just high. LSU still has their usual haters. Andy Staples, some of the Ohio State ball lickers at Fox Sports, a few more people who really aren't worth mentioning. But the LSU hype is loud for the most part, and getting louder. And it comes largely from the fact that the Tigers brought in a whole crew of big-time, big-money transfer free agents. That's what we can call them now, really. It's what I'm going to call them. 18 transfers, to be exact. 7 of the top 100 ranked transfers. Paid and paid well with LSU NIL collective coin. Not really. That's not a real thing. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. And these 18 highly coveted, experienced college football players join a roster that already had an impressive core of talent. Garrett Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton Jr., Trey Green, Caden Durham, Harold Perkins Jr., the Weeks boys, Jacoby and Guillory. Then you throw in a damn strong incoming high school recruiting class, some of whom are enrolled in the spring and took part in LSU's practices. And then you realize the hype is really not that surprising. Brian Kelly's squad has thrust itself into the realm of high expectations for 2025. And yes, I just used the word thrust. Feels appropriate. The Tigers need to thrust themselves back into the national spotlight this season. Thrust. Word goes all the way back to the 1950s, I believe, Arthur. See, back then, entire families would sit down in their living rooms and they'd watch Ed Sullivan on TV. Imagine that. But then one night, Elvis Presley came on Sullivan, gyrating his pelvis in front of the younger audience. And the parents saw it, and the mothers would point and scream, "He's thrusting! He's thrusting it in their faces! Look, George, wake up! He's thrusting his tallywhacker!" To which George suddenly exclaimed, "What?" Waking up from his nap, of course. Thrust. On August 30th, at Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier will thrust himself into the Heisman race. Arthur took his break early. He's enjoying that cold Miller High Life right now. Hopefully he'll find his way back here and rejoin us soon. But back to the expectations of the passionate balls and ballettes that make up the LSU fan base. From a fan perspective, and by the way, on this channel, we do our very best to speak for the fan. Not going to speak for all Tiger fans, obviously, but a majority of my opinions do come from a genuine fan perspective, as opposed to a media geek perspective or an internet troll perspective. Anyway, Tiger fans, I'm already getting the sense it's going to be one of those summers as far as expectations. I got flies in here. Expectations for the season. Fans are ready to drink the Kool-Aid, like, give it to me now. They're jumping on the bandwagon, and they're hopping on the hype train. And yes, of course, they're cranking up the Nuss Bus. And why not? They should be excited. They're fans. They should be cranking up the Nuss Bus because their team just landed the most loaded big money free agent transfer class in college football of this offseason. Mercenaries from far and wide, here to kick ass and collect their bounty, which will hopefully include a big shiny trophy at the end. Defensive lineman Bernard Gooden, transfer from South Florida. Defensive end Jack Pyburn from Florida. Cornerback Mansour Delane from Virginia Tech. Offensive lineman Josh Thompson, Northwestern. Hired guns. A.J. Halsey, safety from Houston. That was a big recent one. Wide receiver Barian Brown from Kentucky. That's my breakout pick, early season breakout pick right there. Big season coming for Brown. Big D lineman from Texas, Cy Mitchell, and many, many more, 18 of them. By the way, some of these experts that are high on the Tigers are legitimate football analysts and not geeks who know the college game inside and out. One of these analysts, Jake Crane, and his company recently ranked LSU football number 1 in the SEC for 2025. How about that? Josh Pate, another respected college football analyst, also very high on the Tigers. And there are others, knowledgeable football analysts, who look at this roster and are left with no choice but to be impressed. And then, of course, the fans drink this up, chomping at the bit, and we haven't even hit 93 degrees yet up here in Balcomville. Good thing we got LSU baseball. Hopefully that takes up a lot of June. So again, I pose the question, can this team meet these expectations, these rapidly rising fan expectations? Obviously impossible to say right now, but if pressed, I think the simplified, most common sense attempt at an answer would be to say, yes, this team can meet fan expectations for 2025 because the fan expectation, not hopes and dreams and wishes and hot take predictions, the expectation is to make the college football playoff. The college football playoff is the acid test for LSU season. If the Tigers are not in the college football playoff, this season will be viewed as a massive failure. And not just a failure in my eyes, in my opinion, a failure in the eyes of, obviously, the players and the coaches and the support staff, the ex-players, the school administrators, the alumni, the team doctors, the pharmacists, the chefs in the nutrition center, the hardworking custodians who clean the shitters, and yes, most definitely a failure in the eyes of the fans. So if forced to give an unofficial prediction, gut feeling, yeah, I think this team gets in. There are several factors I'm putting into this. Very early gun to the head LSU playoff prediction, namely the offensive weapons, the senior, talented, mature quarterback, the fact they addressed their needs thoroughly with this transfer class, and incoming high school recruiting class. You'll see cornerback DJ Pickett on the field. And there are other factors like second-year defensive coordinator Blake Baker. His defense made a huge leap last year after the dumpster fire of Matt House in 23. And now he's got 9 highly sought-after, experienced defensive transfers added to the fold. Then there's the astonishing speed of the LSU wide receivers, collectively, as a group. There are potential issues with this team, of course. I'm sure there are. But I have to say there aren't many on paper. Not anymore. Not after the latest transfer window. Offensive line will remain the biggest question until the Clemson game simply because of the inexperience there. So now after establishing what the floor is here, the bare minimum, the fan base is demanding an LSU Tiger appearance in the college football playoff this season. But moving forward now, let's not put this playoff on too high of a pedestal here. By the way, the playoff field will now have straight seeding, teams ranked 1 through 12 in 2025. Thankfully, sanity prevailed there. No more automatic buys for small conference champions. But for LSU, making the playoff should not be viewed as some grand accomplishment. Not for this program. It's a 12-team playoff. LSU is top 12 or much higher in many of the categories and program attributes that are conducive to winning in college football in 2025. Are they not? Yeah, you're not the king ding-a-ling of hot takes because you got the Tigers in the playoff field this year. It's a legitimate, bona fide expectation. As we head toward the dog days, and we look over our LSU Tiger roster and coaching staff, and we see our team of mercenaries and hired guns and bounty hunters, we should get excited. LSU paid damn good money for this team, and that's how you win in 2025. Pressure is on them to perform and get it done, and they have the talent to do just that. Make that playoff at the least and meet the expectations of their fan base. They certainly looked the part in the open spring workout, the transfers, most of them that were there. Jack Pyburn looks like a real-life, actual bounty hunter. Might be. Arthur's boy Lane Kiffin wishes he had landed Jack Pyburn. Lane is the portal king no more. Anybody check him out on Theo Von's podcast? Wasn't too bad. Entertaining guy. He quit drinking. Hear that, Arthur? He quit drinking. Oh, no, not me. I'm in my prime. But maybe you should. Before we wrap it up, I want to address the 2025 NFL schedule, which was released a ways back, last week or so. It's been analyzed and overanalyzed 100 times, I'm sure, ever since then, but I'm just going to say probably not like this. One game in particular on the schedule caught my eye. See, Arthur here, being a bit of a math nerd, he did some math. And by his calculations, as of this recording, there are 103 days till the NFL's opening Thursday night kickoff between the Eagles and the Cowboys, September 4th. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs start their season against the Chargers in Brazil the night after that, on Friday. And I don't think Miss Travis Kelce, Miss Karma is my boyfriend, is going to make that Brazil game. Maybe she will, but I just don't see it. So by Arthur's calculations, you better have done the math right. I'm thinking it'll be about 113 days until Taylor Swift and her flat ass will return to our flat TV screens whether we like it or not. I'm certain she'll be in the house, all dolled up for the Chiefs' home opener against the Eagles in a Super Bowl rematch on Week 2, September the 14th. All fixed up, wearing her sequins, slamming vodkas with Blake Lively and Mama Kelce, Hallmark Christmas movie star Mama Kelce, don't you forget. And hey, By that point, maybe Taylor will have made up with her longtime nemesis, First Lady in Space, Katy Perry. Maybe. Of course, who knows what Taylor looks like without all her war paint on? Well, I reckon Travis Kelce knows. Maybe. If you really believe they're really a couple. Contract. I mean, for all we know, she wakes up in the morning looking like Godzilla. Travis wakes up, rolls over, looks at her, exclaims to himself, "Oh shit, it's Godzilla!" Quietly, of course, to himself. "Oh shit, it's Godzilla." Because you never want to awaken Godzilla. I mean, I'm just throwing the scenario out there. Maybe she looks like Godzilla, maybe she doesn't. Till one of us sees her without her makeup, without her war paint, we won't ever know. So we never will know. But there are some similarities between them that I think even the most staunch Swiftie has to admit. Similarities between Taylor Swift and Godzilla. And they are uncanny. Per example, their beautiful singing voices. There's Godzilla's voice. You've probably heard it before. I won't attempt to mimic it here. It's rough on the throat. But then when I listen to Taylor, it's kind of similar. But maybe my ears are just clogged, huh? Also, Taylor's kind of tall, like you know who? Godzilla. And of course, they're both heartless, soulless wretches, hell-bent on world domination, breathing fire, destroying entire cities, leaving them in their wake. You know they do. I'm just saying, nobody's ever seen Taylor Swift and Godzilla in a stadium together. So there is your Bayou Football NFL 2025 schedule review. Hopefully First Lady in Space, Katy Perry, watched it from her spaceship tent in her living room, in her home on Whore Island. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on X and Facebook. And visit us at BayouFootball.com. Until the next episode. For Arthur, the Bayou Party Dog, I'm Ruddy Rutledge. He is a real good boy, and this is some Bayou football.